Today I'm going to Sydney. It takes 24 hours just to get there with layovers. Look at these meals that Cathay Pacific gave me. They're really good. The first thing I noticed when I got there is that the public transportation is phenomenal and it's also very cheap. Sydney reminds me a lot of San Francisco. And when I got there, I didn't do research on food, so I just went to the nearest cafe and it was all right. And then I walked over to the most iconic part of Sydney, which is the Opera House. So I went to Mrs. McAdoo's Point. And since I was there in the winter, the weather was about 60 degrees or so, which was actually perfect for me. I also saw these large storks walking around the parks. Then I took a bus to Shark Point to see some cliffs, and it was honestly underwhelming. And then I went to the grocery store because I needed something healthy, and oh my god, this was so nasty. But then I got some sashimi next door, and the sashimi here is so cheap. I noticed the prices are pretty consistent across fish markets, so this whole thing was $13. And for some reason, they charge extra for sauces in Australia, so you would have to pay extra for soy sauce or like wasabi or something. And then the next day, I went to the fish market, which was the highlight of my experience there. The oysters here are so cheap and so plump without being overly big. And again, I went to the sashimi bar, and it had the same prices as the other place I went to. It's very clear that this fish market has very heavy Japanese or Asian influence because of the food they serve. The majority of the people here, including the workers and the visitors, were Asian. But anyways, this was my spread. This was like my dream meal. I can't stop thinking about it. I got a lobster roll, and this was fire. I liked it a lot. And then here I am eating my oysters. These were literally the perfect size, like not too big, but just plump enough. They had a ton of other pre-cooked and prepared options, and you can basically get any seafood as sashimi here. Then I walked over to a matcha cafe, and this was a very good matcha. There was like sweet cream in it. It was a very nice treat on a rainy day since the weather was not great that day. I left for Cairns for a few days and I came back to Sydney. So that night I went to Hungry Jack's, which is basically the Burger King of Australia. The next morning, I walked to Darling Harbour to get some lunch, and I really wanted to try kangaroo, so I went to these touristy restaurants that had a lunch special with a glass of wine and kangaroo loin, and honestly, it was really good. It just tasted like beefsteak. Then I went to do some nature exploring, and I really wish I came in the summer because the weather was not super great in the winter, but that's okay. I'll just come back in the summer. And then for dinner, I went to another touristy restaurant and I got a crocodile burger, which is really just a cross between fish and chicken in terms of taste and texture. Then I went to Burwood Chinatown, and I wish that I was more hungry because there were so many options in this food court and it was very cool. I just made some room for some mango sticky rice, and this was not good, not gonna lie.